What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content. With your boy, Chris Kane. Let's talk about these Dolphins. So, one of the things that happens sometimes in the current media landscape is that former players get their own platforms podcasts, TV shows, ESPN, webinars, whatever they do their own thing. And sometimes they get to talk about their former team. And so it hits differently when someone played for your team and now they're on TV talking about your team. This happened recently with Cam Newton. He talked about, oh, when I went to Carolina, they were a bunch of losers. But Cam Newton is a media personality now. And when he went to Carolina, they did have the number one pick. So I guess by definition, yeah, kind of. But there were guys on that team that felt away. Like, hey, man, I'm not a loser. You can't use your voice to say things that might demonize us or our effort or what have you, right? So I bring this up because Shannon Crowder, who you know from the pivot with Freddie T and Ryan Clark, former Dolphin, linebacker, went to UF, so Floridaed out. Gainesville, down to Coral Gables, we know what he's about, right? And, well, not Coral Gables, but Miami. UM's at Coral Gables. So, Florida guy through and through, has a platform. He talked recently about his desire for the Dolphins to trade Tyreek. And it's not because of his offseason shenanigans. It's not because of injury concerns necessarily. Not even because of all the off the field stuff. It's simply because he's valuable now, but he's maxed out his valuableness, essentially, right? He actually had a quote that I read now. It says, "It's what the Patriots would do. Get rid of him before the downfall. He's 32. He's a speed guy. You don't get faster as you get older. You get slower as you get older." And he's right. Like Tyreek's claim to fame is how fast he is, right? It's the most discernible part of his game. He's the cheetah, right? And so when your skill set is inevitably going to start waning, even if he's still fast at 34, 35, he won't be as fast as he was at 29, 30, 31. Like, he might kind of maintain it, but more likely than not, it's going to start doing that. And the value of Tyreek now, let's say as a trade piece, is possible first and the fourth, maybe second to third, right? If he has one more year, that's better than this year, but worse than 2 years ago, right? So 1,800 yards, 900 yards. Let's say we split the difference 13-5, right? 13-5, 9 touchdowns. Is that guy worth a first and a fourth? Like, that's, I mean, they're number two receivers that put up those kind of numbers. Brian Thomas did that in Jacksonville with an awful quarterback situation, right? So right now his value is super high, but we know he's a depreciating asset. He literally just got surgery. We know all the off-field stuff. We also know that speed does not keep unless you're Darryl Green and you can just be fast until you're like 107 years old. Darryl Green was like 42 years old playing cornerback. And they're like, yeah, he might still be the fastest guy in the league. Don't know how he did it. Haven't even seen a workout video. Just was that dude. He was just fast forever. Probably still fast. I want to race him. So we don't believe that's going to be Tyreek's story. It's more likely that he starts getting injured and he just plays from 16 games a year to 13-ish to 10-ish. And so I like Tyreek. I want him to stay. I understand the idea that get out from under it now and maybe get something back in return that we can use to fortify the future. Because if you wait too late, you might it might cost you late in the game. So I hear what Channing's saying. I know some Dolphins probably feel away because, like, hey, you one of us. You can't take shots at our people. I don't think he's taking a shot. I think he is trying to be objective. It just happens to be at our expense a little bit. And so there's also been talk about Javon Holland. Like, him and the team have not been on the same page lately, mostly because he's kind of being pushed out the back door, and he's aware that he's being pushed out the back door. You ever try to throw somebody out of your house who's not drunk? It's difficult. Like, I ain't going nowhere. Like, that's where Javon is right now. Like, he is going somewhere. Like, he's aware of it. But I think if he had it his way, if he had a number to $20 million, and Miami said yes, I don't think he's like, let me see who else is going to give me $20 million. Like, if Miami just met his offer, he would stay. So even though he's saying all the right things right now as a free agent, you know what, the team is doing what they're doing, and I don't respect it, but that's the way cookie crumbles. I'm gonna do my own thing. He's saying all the things that he's kind of taking the high ground a little bit, little pot shots here and there, but not burning a bridge because you just don't know what the market looks like. However, there's sourcing now that says that the Vikings are very much in line to land him. A lot of things make sense here. Harrison Smith will not be back next year. Been a long time safety. One of the underrated, really good players in the league. I think he only made a couple Pro Bowls, but good to better than good, but never like the Polamalu, like Ed Reed level, but better than most, right? And he's getting older, and he's going to be a free agent. Also, Brian Flores is the defensive coordinator. And so Brian Flores knows Javon Holland from Miami time. And they needed safety. And they're in a division with Caleb Williams and Jordan Love. And so, right, it's a lot going on in that division. Detroit, my God. So a lot of things are happening in the division. You need to be good on the back end. Because every team in your division throws. Every team in your division has receivers. And they will target you if you're not good deep in the secondary, right? So the Vikings have a quarterback decision to make. I think they're going to go with McCarthy this year. I don't believe they're going to keep Sam Darnold. Just financially, I think it just makes sense. I don't know if McCarthy's good or not. I don't think they know. Like, he basically didn't play. So they would have, presumably, the money to pay him. It still may not be 20, but remember, they got Andrew Van Ginkel when Miami was like, hey, we don't know if we can pay you. Vikings right there, like, we got some money for you. And then Van Ginkel was an all-pro this year. So could have been a Dolphin, but we didn't want to pay him. And, Javon is great. You guys know I am in the camp of do not pay him. I've been very much on the record, but no hate. I don't wish anything bad on Javon. He hasn't done anything wrong. He literally has played his contract out. He hasn't sat out. He hasn't pouted. He's played injured. Even he's played through adversity. We just can't pay him. Very simple situation. This is purely business. I want to see him go somewhere, preferably outside the AFC. I'll be honest. Like, we play the Vikings every 4 years. So we won't see him. By the time we do, he might be 30 years old, and it's like, oh, who cares anymore, right? So I want the best for him. I want him to get his money because I think he's very good. But I just don't think we can give him the money. And if he goes to the Vikings, one, tremendous place to land. Awesome defense, great DC, talented dudes around him. The offense should be very good again next year. So he gets to compete and get his money and go to his old OC, old DC / coach before. I can see how it can work. We'll see. I think that could be a legitimate situation. And finally, we're at Combine Week, so you're going to see unreasonable amounts of videos of guys running the 40, doing 225 bench presses, broad jumps, things that you never really see on the field. I've never seen a guy need to broad jump on the football field. I don't. It's not a transferable skill. However, they do it, right? And one of the cool things about getting older is that the sons of some of the players you grew up watching start coming in the league. Like Jerome Bettis' kid is in college, and I'm like, whoa! Like, I watched Jerome Bettis' whole career. Like, his kid's in college. Wow! Like, Jeremiah Trotter's son plays for the Eagles. Joey Porter's son plays for the Steelers. It's like, whoa! I got football cards of Joey Porter. I'm like, oh, Joey Porter Jr. Oh, cool. Oh, he's a first round pick. What? It's kind of wild. Bring this up because the Dolphins are looking at Mason Taylor, who, as you know, is the son of Jason Taylor, Dolphins legend, Hall of Famer, right? And he's a tight end for LSU. The Dolphins don't have a super high need at tight end, and I think Mason is like the third or fourth tight end listed right now, which means that's a day 2 later round kind of pick. But the idea of one, from a legacy standpoint, bringing them in would be awesome. Great PR. Anytime you can get Jason in the building, everyone loves it. One of the most beloved Dolphins ever. Just consummate professional. Got the job done. Like, was kind of like a freak at his position at the time. Like, super tall and lanky, but not super like heavy. But somehow was very powerful and fast still. He's a Hall of Famer. Duh. I watched, again, y'all know I'm an SEC guy, so I watch LSU play. I've seen Mason since he was there a couple of years ago. Like, I've seen Mason's whole run. I think he's very good. He's better than Thad Moss, so that's Randy Moss's son. I don't. He's not as good as Kellen Winslow probably, but he's a really solid tight end. And if it's him and Jonnu, I think that would be a great play. But just for the legacy of the Dolphins, I'm here for it. If he's there, let's say they have like as like a third or fourth round grade on him. Let's say that's the case. If he's there and you have that grade on him and you're not reaching or leveraging picks or mortgaging the future and he's just there, go get him because it'll be a great story. It'll sell tickets, and if he plays and plays well, I mean, what are we talking about here? Dolphins taking care of Dolphins. We get Jason to come out there, jersey retire. Like I think there's a lot of cool things that can happen there. We'll see how that works out draft wise because there are teams who actually need tight ends that might reach second, third round for them. We'll see, but keep an eye out for it because it seems like a lot of teams are doing this where if we can get the son of a legend in the building, we'll try to do it. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate all the love and support. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep telling your friends and family. We'll keep bringing you the Dolphins, and we'll see you next time. Peace.